Welcome, y'all, to the fantastically 5th episode of Jeremiah the Podcast. I am Jeremiah Alford, and I want to say thank you to all y'all right now listening to this episode, and also a special thanks to everyone that has been supporting the podcast up to this point. We've had wonderful responses to the episodes, wonderful responses to the guests. I've been loving seeing the number count and the download count constantly be growing. Keep it up, y'all. I appreciate it so much. And it's awesome seeing this community grow, and I can't wait to deliver even more fantastic episodes your way if you just keep sharing, talking about it, interacting with these episodes in the social media. So thank you so much, and I have another great one for y'all today with Jason Windley, entrepreneur, fitness expert, father, husband, mentor. He is a big part of the Columbia, South Carolina community. He is the owner of Bodyshop Athletics X in Ballantyne, South Carolina. He is where I got my first start as a personal trainer, and he is the one who helped me grow into a weightlifter, a strength athlete, a strength and conditioning coach, a weightlifting coach, working with kids and working with adults and all these different aspects of health and fitness, and really not limiting my potential with training and coaching and leading other people along their fitness journey. He's done a wonderful job for myself, as well as our other coworkers, as well as the rest of the people in the Ballantyne and Columbia area. He is a wonderful mentor, a leader of the community, someone you definitely need to listen to, someone you definitely need to meet. So if you're ever in the Columbia area or Ballantyne area or just in South Carolina, swing on by Bodyshop Athletics X. Don't forget the X in Ballantyne, South Carolina. Or you can hit them up on social media at Bodyshop X on Instagram and Facebook. We also have a Bodyshop X Barbell Club, and you can hit them up on Bodyshop X Barbell. And lastly, and most importantly, if you're in the South Carolina state area and you're looking to qualify for the American Open Series 2, or are you looking to set a state record, which we don't have many since we're just blooming as an LWC, come on by July 1st for the first, or for the once in a long time, I'm not sure if it's the first ever, but one in a long time, South Carolina State Meet. Again, it's July 1st. Hit us up at Bodyshop Athletics X or bodyshopx.com. You'll find out all the information. And if you're actually a USAW registered member, you'll probably have already got an email. So again, hit us up. It's not too late to sign up by the time you listen to this episode. Again, wonderful episode. I'm very excited to share this with you. We just have some fun conversation between me and him, and I think you will enjoy it because I sure did. But without any further ado, here's your guest, Jason Windley. And away we go. The way it works is we pretty much already kind of started. It's just a casual conversation.
We have started?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
With the Mountain Dew?
Yeah. Well, I started after the Mountain Dew. The Mountain Dew USA or...
Yeah. That's good stuff.
Yeah. Solids.
So what's up, man?
Not much. Just getting back from, from Clemson and the Aquarium. Have you ever been to the Georgia Aquarium?
I have not, but I saw your pictures. They looked fun.
Yeah, that was actually, Kaylee was trying her hardest to take a selfie in front of one of those whale sharks. Mm-hmm. And the contrast with the light was so bad. It was either us or the shark. And so out of nowhere, some lady came up to us, and she couldn't speak English, but she was just showing her phone, and we looked down, and we're like, oh, that's us. And so we sent it to ourselves. So it was very nice.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
That was actually pretty funny. I was like, someone randomly took a picture of you guys? And
I think they were taking a picture of the whale shark, but then I guess we stole the show.
You did?
Yeah.
It was very romantic looking picture.
It really, I was like, man, it's like we posed for that. No one's gonna believe us that we just were given this. Have you ever taken your wife, Kristen, on any romantic vacations or romantic trips? Or actually, what's your best day trip? I feel like you have some good day trips. You're a day trip type guy, aren't you?
I'm a day trip type guy.
Yeah.
With Kristen.
Yeah.
We like to go to Asheville a lot.
Yeah.
So we'll do that from time to time, and then we'll. We've gone to Bryson City a couple times, and that's always fun. Mm-hmm. And we'll hike and look for waterfalls, and then from there, there's this place. I think it's called Cork and Bean. Mm-hmm. It's like a local restaurant, and they serve local food, so it's really cool. So we like to see when we go out to places, usually mountain towns. I think she likes to go to the beach more than I take her to the beach. But usually mountain towns, we like to find the little local spot that's kind of like a romantic date night. That's kind of fun. So Cork and Bean was good. I had like a bison meatloaf one time. That was really cool. And they serve really good desserts. So,
do you taste anything different when you eat bison?
I don't know. That food was really good though.
Yeah, it's all the flavors they added to it.
It was, whatever they did was nice. I'll probably get it again at some point in time.
So you must like the mountains more than the beach yourself.
Personally, yes.
Yeah. Why is that? You're not a big swimmer? You're not a big like beach person?
I mean, the beach is cool, but the mountains...
There's more adventure to the mountains.
I don't know. It's just relaxing.
Yeah.
You could hang out and do nothing. I guess you can do that at the beach too, but normally at the mountains there's nothing there either. Like there's not a whole lot of people.
Yeah.
So you can kind of separate yourself.
It's even more quiet.
Yes.
Which is something rare these days.
Yep.
Yeah. As we hear cars driving by and all that. Like it's like even like on a nice Sunday porch or a Monday Memorial Day porch, you're still gonna hear traffic or occasional people like blaring their music a little bit.
I don't like sitting out in the sun a whole lot. I guess that's kind of what it is. I don't mind being outside, but again, I don't mind the beach. It's just not my first choice. Yeah. So I go out to the beach and I don't really like to lay out, so I'll play out there a little bit, some soccer, maybe some volleyball, and run around a little bit. But after that, cool off in the water and then go back in.
Cool off and dehydrate in the water a little bit.
Exactly, right? There's not too much exciting for me, but some people like to chill out and read a book, so I respect that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you go to the mountains, I can go all day and try to find 2 or 3 waterfalls and come back and be ready to go back out to eat again.
Yes.
So, I mean, that's fun. And then there's a couple other things at the mountain towns that's been really cool. There's a train ride through Bryson City. I guess that's probably my favorite spot, Bryson City. Yeah.
Bryson City, I'm going to write that one down.
They also, what we want to do with our kids, though, they have a, the movie with Tom Hanks, the cartoon.
Which, the cartoon? Big Fish? Or
no.
Okay.
The Christmas movie.
Oh, Tom Hanks' Christmas movie.
You know what? I'm going to have to ask my wife if she's going to
pop her head out. It's a cartoon?
It's a cartoon. He played the conductor.
Oh, Polar Express.
Yes, Polar Express.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness. I can't believe I forgot that.
Yeah.
So we're going to take our kids up there because they do a Polar Express ride throughout the town. And they can go in their pajamas and they serve hot chocolate. It's pretty cool. But you got to book it way in advance.
Yeah.
I've heard good things about that.
Was that your favorite Christmas movie?
No.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Ooh. It's summertime and you're asking me about my favorite Christmas movie?
Yeah. Hey, it's never too early to get in the season.
This Christmas. I know it's kind of random. This Christmas, it's like a family get together and there's some drama in the family and then they come back together to eat at the dinner table. It's really cool. It's got Chris Brown and it's This Christmas is what it's called.
Oh, it is. Okay, yeah.
And the song This Christmas he remade is really, really good too. I was kind of impressed with his remake in it.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie. You should watch it.
Gotcha. I'm putting on that one on the list too. Have you seen Chris Brown's hair? Or like I saw it in a music.
So
you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about, right? Kaylee calls it the Smeagol look.
I
love the dude. I love him, but man,
he's an intriguing guy.
He's an artist.
He's definitely an artist.
Creative type.
He's not my favorite. That just happens to be one of my favorite Christmas movies, and he's in it. And I think he's super talented. The dude can dance. The dude can sing. And I was watching a show one time. It was probably 6 or 7 years ago. Somebody asked him if he wasn't singing, what he would do, and he was like, "I'd rap." At that point, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Then he came out on that one song with Busta Rhymes and Lil Wayne, and his verse was kind of hot. Now. Yes, I was kind of impressed. I was like, oh.
He actually came out with an album called like Graffiti. It was a mixtape, and he has a song with Wiz Khalifa called The Bomb, and I rocked that through like junior year of high school or senior year. It was banging in my car.
I was like, okay, he can rap a little bit. He's got a little bit of skills.
Oh yeah. Well, he's definitely he knows what sounds good in your ears.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he can. Yeah. So I mean, that's kind of what makes him good.
Yeah.
Other than some of the personal issues, definitely don't agree with a lot of that. But as far as music goes, he makes some pretty good music.
Yeah. I always like to defend him because I heard an interview with Jamie Foxx and he talked about how Chris Brown is the sweetest person to his daughter and stuff like that. And it's just there's always two sides of every coin. There's always a spectrum of personalities, sort of. Mm-hmm. Speaking of, have you seen Split?
No, I have not seen Split.
Okay, you guys see that one.
Okay.
Are you an M. Night Shyamalan person?
Yeah, I think he makes good movies. but I haven't been like, I need to go see this movie because he did it.
Yeah.
So
that's the exact opposite of me. I'm like, he did it.
I gotta see it. You gotta go see it.
Yeah.
Might have to do this, but he did Split.
Yes.
Okay. He did Transformers too.
No, maybe he might have helped on that, but no, I hope not.
No, did he do? He did a YouTube mini movie.
He did. All I know is that he did. What was it? He did The Visit, which was like a kid's visit to grandparents, but that didn't. That got a lot of good reviews, but not a lot of people saw it, I think. And then he did The Happening with Mark Wahlberg, and where the trees were killing people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that was like that's when people lost him.
Yeah, I didn't see that. What else did he do?
Trying to think. Oh, his big one was The Sixth Sense.
That one was really good.
Yeah, I See Dead People.
That one was really good, but it's been a long time since I saw that.
Yeah. What was the last movie you saw then?
I have kids.
Yeah. So, Lego movie?
No, Power Rangers.
Okay, I asked Austin that, and he was like, no, I didn't see Power Rangers. I'm like, you totally saw that.
He did see Power Rangers. That was probably the first movie he saw at this age where he could actually see the movie.
Okay.
And he didn't really like it in the beginning because it took about 45 minutes for them to morph.
Well, because they're also teenagers at that point, and they're like different teenagers than we knew.
Yes, they changed all the stories around, which is kind of cool. It was a fun movie. But when we were in there, and probably 45 minutes into the movie, he's like, Daddy, I'm ready to go. I was like, we're watching Power Rangers. He's like, Daddy, they haven't even morphed yet. And I was like,
well, they're not. Point. They're not really Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, are they?
Yeah, it's the original. They're starting at the original. Angel Grove, in there with Rita and Goldar, and it's so many thousand years since Zordon was an actual Power Ranger. And
was it a good story, or was it a good or was it only good for nostalgic purposes, or do you think the new wave of kids will like this?
I don't know what the new kids will like. I'm a big fan of Power Rangers. I grew up with Power Rangers, so I'm going to watch it. It could have been a bad movie. I'm still probably going to see the second one.
Yeah.
But I thought it was good. I thought they did a good job, and I do think they did not reach out for a younger audience. It's definitely a teenage and older. So they tried to connect that teenage gap between those who watched it before, but allowing the new generation to enjoy it. So I hope they did.
Was there any good twist at the end, or was it's worth seeing it, or was it kind of like?
It's worth seeing. But what I thought was cool were the cameos that they had with the old Rangers.
That was the really was hope. Like when you saw them, you're like, yes, a little bit on the inside.
Austin St. John, the guy who played Jason originally.
That's your guy.
Yeah.
Red Ranger.
He is the Red Ranger. He played the dad to the Red Ranger, and then at the end of the movie, they had
spoiler, I guess. Sort of cameo spoiler.
I
feel like you look at the IMDb page and you'll know all this.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the other characters didn't have a main role.
Yeah.
But you saw Tommy and Kimberly
good
at the end of the movie taking pictures of the Megazord with their phone, which is kind of funny.
Okay.
I was like, there was no such thing as a picture phone in the 90s, but they're out there like.
Yeah, I'm noticing that with all the TV shows now. It's weird because I don't know. I grew up watching the classic stuff, and there's no mention of telephones or anything like that. But now you see the transition is becoming more and more common to talk about incorporating Facebook and
Instagram and posting pictures.
Yeah. You'll see something with social media involved with a common thing. I watch Sherlock. Do you watch Sherlock?
Yes.
Yes, they're the
PBS Sherlock.
Yes, the Cumberbatch.
Yes.
Oh
absolutely.
man, love him.
I did not see the one that's out yet, though.
It's the best one yet.
I haven't had a chance to sit down and watch it, but I'll do that.
Yeah, because they're mini movies. They're all an hour and a half.
Yes.
They're so well done.
They are.
Let's see. Yeah, it takes some twists and turns. It takes some twists and turns and things that you're like, that won't happen. It happens. So be ready for. I don't even know how they're going to follow this with the next season.
So I was when at the end where he died.
Yeah.
But didn't die.
Yeah.
The next episode of the next season that came out when they reversed that, I was like, that's so crazy. I would never have thought that.
Yes.
But they did it.
That's what happened with this last season. I was like, okay, I'm getting onto your tricks now. I'm of this, and almost every time I was like, oh, I see what they did there. And then I see that they did one twist, but they twisted that and made another twist. And I'm like, what are you made me think I was smart for a second, and then you threw me off.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got it. Yeah. But it's 4.5 hours, I guess, total of things, and that's a long time. That's not.
It is. There's only 3 episodes for this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Well established 3 episodes.
Good. I'll watch it probably over the next couple weeks.
Do you have a favorite character? Like Sherlock's one of my favorite characters because he just is able to like, I don't know. He's kind of like, besides like his relationship faults, he has the ability that we all kind of want. Especially like I think entrepreneurs, they want to be able to know everything, kind of see predictions and human patterns, and want to be one step ahead of everybody.
I think that's really the reason why I like it, because they do a good job of letting you see how clever he is and how well he can read people. Obviously, it's written in the script, but still, the script writers did a good job too.
Yeah.
So I was very impressed.
And with that, I was thinking like when I watch something like that, like I noticed the way I kind of reflect the rest of my world kind of depends sometimes on what I recently just watched, and like my own confidence levels kind of boost when I watch Sherlock because I'm like, oh, I totally see how the ones and zeros of this whole world now. So these simple people, but no, it's and then the world and my girlfriend quickly
put you back in check.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes. That's a good thing about having significant others or girlfriend. Like they'll put you in your place. They'll make sure you know you're human.
Yes, they will.
How long have you been married now, by the way?
4 and some change.
Okay. Man.
Yep.
Everything you thought it was?
Yep.
Yep.
I don't have like this fairy tale idea about marriage.
Yes.
It was there was going to be fairy tale parts, and I knew there's going to be hard parts, and there's going to be super easy parts, there's going to be super exciting parts, and super sad parts, and super hard parts. Mm-hmm. I said that already, but the hard parts are the parts that most people quit on.
It's the hard parts that matter.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you can't go into a marriage expecting it to be super duper happy all the time.
Yeah.
So,
it's the stone that sharpens the axe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we haven't actually had terribly hard parts yet. So that's the scary part too. It's like, well, I say that.
Right, yeah.
But we argue and we love.
Yes.
But I also think that's one of those things. It's like you get married, and that's supposed to be the picture. It's very similar to, all right, so when you get married, you're supposed to love our wives like Christ loved the church. Mm-hmm. So that parallels where he gave his life to the church. And so that's the same thing we're supposed to be doing, giving our lives to our wives. And so if we give our lives to our wives, expect nothing less than hard times, because it's hard for us to be human and to give them everything. Mm-hmm. So I mean, somebody will take that out of context, but that was the point.
Yeah, I'm sure
die to ourselves, give ourselves to our significant other.
I'm sure I feel like you also have the same problem. I think it might be a problem with entrepreneurs that we dive into a lot of things for 100%, and you can't divide 100% by 100% into many different things.
Right.
And so it's separating these lives, but also somehow finding a way to stitch them together. It's just the constant battle. It is,
but communication is one of those huge parts. If you communicate well, it usually works very well.
Yeah.
And honesty, and not hiding things.
Yes.
But still being tactful. Like, what is the I'm not being mean, I'm just being honest. That statement is usually an annoying thing, because being honest doesn't have to be mean. It cannot. If you're tactful with the honesty, you can still develop the same goal without creating the separation and the anger.
Yes.
So being honest and tactful is super important to make sure that you get the information across that you need.
Yeah.
Because if not, there's some people in our lives right now that are going through things and they just don't communicate back and forth very well.
Yes.
And then not allowing the little things to come in, because if you stay angry and you let things slip, so when people are angry, they will put things to their benefit.
Yeah.
Right. So like somebody might say something that was absolutely nothing, but if you're an angry person, all of a sudden you made that an irrational thought that was going to cause you to be bitter at the person a little bit longer.
Yep.
Like, if you're angry at, let's say Bob is angry at Jane, and normally Bob lets Jane pick some food off of his plate when she walks by.
Oh, that's sweet of Bob.
Right, exactly. But Bob gets upset and Jane comes by, and all of a sudden Bob's like, "Why are you taking food off my plate?" it wasn't anything before.
Yes.
But the only reason it's something now is because he was angry before.
Yes.
And those little things just keep piling up. And instead of communicating his anger and resolving it,
yes,
it just gets worse.
That's something I heard a lot with Gary Vee. Is like emotional intelligence and understanding your emotions on a deeper level than just like, I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm happy. It's like, what caused that, or why are you angry, or what kind of anger is it? Like, is it like a lot of us, like you said, like it wasn't necessarily Jane taking French fries. It was probably something that happened to Bob beforehand.
Right.
Like someone cut him off in traffic, and that really bothered him, and it just brought over to a relationship where he was already feeling like he had very little, and then someone started taking more of what he already didn't have.
Yeah.
And just kind of feel threatened.
Yep.
Because ultimately, I think we're all just like survivalist, selfish-ish creatures.
That's true.
Yeah.
And you have to consciously not be.
Yes. That's what makes us human.
Yeah, you can't passively let your emotions go, because then everything just becomes centered on you.
Yes.
And that's it. So you have to consciously and deliberately, since we're talking about marriage, consciously and deliberately love the person across from you.
Yeah.
It doesn't passively happen.
Well, how do you do that when things get rough for you, or like when you find yourself getting in like a funk or something like that? How do you snap yourself back, or slowly, gradually get yourself back to that remembering mindset, the love mindset?
I don't know if there's an answer for that one.
Ooh.
Pulling back and be patient.
Yeah.
Just going back over the things and figuring it out and communicating why you're angry.
Yes.
That's it. So like, I'm upset because you said this, but you didn't do that. And then their response might be, well, this, and it's a totally perfectly good reason. But some might be upset just because you didn't take a second to realize what was going on with their lives.
Yes.
There's a lot more to everybody, to life, than just us.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you're married, you have to figure that out. Why did she say that? Why did she do that? What was the reason this didn't get done? Same thing for her and me. If I get caught doing something late and I said I was going to, I don't know, whatever happens, but communicating those things back and forth, because life happens even when you're married. Life happens outside of marriage.
Yep.
Like, things that aren't within the marriage come and hit you. And I think that's a constant barrage. If you're doing marriage right, there's going to be a ton of things being thrown at you.
Yeah.
So.
And the best part and the most important part about it is, like, when things are going good, you got to make them, sometimes try to make them great. Like, try to add a little extra spice to life. Even when they're going bad, you got to put that little spice. Yeah. And so what kind of spices do you like to add to the relationship a little bit? What's something like a guy should start doing? Like, one advice was like, do chores when you're not even asked to do them, or when it's not your turn to do them, or something like that.
I mean, that's a good one
like
too.
Early married life.
Yeah, but I think that's just the thing anyway.
Yeah.
So if you get a moment to do some chores, do some chores. It's both of your house, both of your lives.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if there's something there and it's her, if you guys have decided between the two of you that it's her role, and you pick it up, that's pretty cool too. But even outside of that, I think one time I wrote love letters for a month, once a week, or random flowers, and I haven't done it yet. Well, I have, but I want to do it again.
Yeah.
I guess the best word, I haven't done it in a long time, is to just show up randomly and say, hey, let's go eat lunch.
Yeah.
Because she works.
Surprise.
Yeah. We got to figure that time out.
Yeah. It's kind of finding the surprise is the romance a little bit.
Yeah.
To think about someone when they don't realize you're thinking about them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, chances are, that's the other thing. They probably think you're thinking about them, but they want to know it.
Yeah.
They want you to show that that's the case.
Yeah.
And there's the other thing that, in being in a relationship like that, opening yourself up to trust.
Yeah.
Because they got to trust you. And if you don't trust, if you're always nitpicking, if you're always nagging, then you're just breaking down trust every time. Like, do you not trust me? Why are you doing that? Trust, don't nag.
Yeah. And we see many relationships kind of follow that path.
Yeah.
With talk about a little bit about writing love letters. What else? What other cute things have you been able to like blow up and do awesome with?
I wouldn't say do awesome with, but
I'll say it.
I'm
Yeah. I'm asking this question because I heard of a few of them. So.
So I thought it'd be pretty clever to every hour, one day, it was like the day before, the day after, one of her special days, it was the day before.
Yeah.
To post songs that spoke to the way I felt about her on Facebook every hour.
Yeah.
So I posted those. That was pretty fun.
Nice.
What was even funnier is I got mad respect on Facebook, but she didn't see him till the end of the day.
Oh.
So it was kind of like, why is she not commenting?
Yeah.
Then I had to realize that I wasn't doing it for me. I was doing it for her. But
yes.
It was funny. But the other thing is that girls want to be appreciated in public.
Yeah.
They want you to love them in public, not just behind closed doors. So,
and not necessarily PDA all the time. So it depends on the person, of course. But yeah.
So I don't know if I'm good at that either, but I try sometimes is to show them that there's affection and let people see that there's affection.
It's that whole romantic gesture of holding that boom box outside of the window.
Right?
Yes.
Right, and hitting the play button.
Yes.
There's a movie, 10 Things I Hate About You.
I believe that might have been it. Yeah. Or there was where the guy, are you talking about when what was his name? Joker.
Yeah, Heath Ledger.
Heath Ledger did the band scene in the stands.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, that's kind of like the epitome of what I like to do with relationships. Try to see if I can top something like that. I feel you relate. That really hard.
See, keeping up with movies are hard too, man.
Yeah, because you don't have the budget to orchestrate something like that.
Exactly.
And a film crew to record it to prove that
you did. Or the timing.
Oh,
the timing could be so far off, thinking it's about to work, and boom. But that's part of it.
Yeah.
The other thing is expecting it to be perfect, man. You can't expect it to be perfect.
Oh, yeah.
So imperfection is kind of the perfection of relationships. Like, you're trying so hard, and the effort matters.
Yes.
Effort levels matter.
Yes.
In almost everything.
Yeah, like any creative endeavor.
Any relationship endeavor.
Yep.
Effort matters. Relationships, creative, not so creative, but anything that you go for, effort level matters.
I always wonder about that. I wonder if I guess, I was trying to figure out who would be the most romantic person to be in a relationship with. Like, is it artists or is it entrepreneurs? Like, artists being the most creative type, but entrepreneurs are sort of creative, but they're also very resourceful in their nature, if they're actually...
That's a good question. Artists versus entrepreneurs, but a lot of artists are entrepreneurs.
Yeah, these days, independent artists are destroying the scene, taking over the billboard.
I don't know. That's a good one. Effort.
Yes.
I mean, again, I don't know. I think they're independent of each other. I think it's going to be the person who puts the most effort in, because there can be some slack artists and some slack entrepreneurs. They got to put the effort in.
Yes.
If they don't put the effort, you could even be a regular 9-to-5 person and put the effort into the relationship and be the bomb. Mm-hmm. Might even be better that way because you have a little bit more time. Because you go to work at 9, end at 5.
Yes.
You have time to plan it, get home, do it.
You have like routine kind of.
A bigger routine, yes. A lot less surprises.
Yes. I've also heard something about that too, about like routine kind of kills creativity to a certain extent, but it also has the potential to thrive creativity, being that you have like a set hours that you can spend dedicating to a certain craft or a certain skill. But you also need to have those spontaneous moments to have something. You have to have real life moments to have happen in order to keep it inspired.
Yeah. I don't think routine is the complete killer of creativity, because there has to be some routine.
Yeah.
If you don't, but you also have to be open to an opportunity. And if you're not open to the opportunities because you're so stuck in your routine, then yes, the routine is killing you. So like if you get up at 8, you spend 2 hours writing every day, then you eat at 10, or you spend something else in, and it has to be that every time, to the point where you never get an opportunity to go experience life or go hang out in the mountains at a random time or whatever. Then you're not going to be able to write about that beautiful moment you had in the mountains, because it wasn't necessarily beautiful, because you sat in your house all day writing.
Yeah.
But that's with everything. I think we're supposed to escape at some point in time from everything we do. Probably I'm not very good at that escaping thing.
Yeah. What do you mean?
Supposed to? Huh?
What do you mean not good at escaping?
Like
Like you just have so much responsibilities, or is it?
No, I don't mind being at work all the time.
Yeah.
So everybody says you need to take a vacation. I'll take a vacation from time to time. But
Well, what if work is your?
it could be.
Yeah.
So that's one of those things. It's if you don't mind what you do, you'll be there. But at some point in time, you got to figure out when that's going to happen to where you're tired of it.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I'm not super tired of it yet, but it's not the same every day.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, I guess, weightlifting, because like overtraining, you can mentally fatigue as well as physically fatigue.
Same thing happens when you're working.
Yeah. Like you can have a great passion for it, but too much of excess of anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like ultimate goal, I guess, is moderation or like a balance. Like you want a good balance of life, you want a good balance of your career, you want a good balance of your creative side, you want a good balance.
They say that, but I don't know if balance is actually achieved at any point in time, unless you're like, hey, I'm happy. So,
then.
Yeah, but like, what does that mean? I don't even know. People say that all the time. You got to have balance, work-life balance. I don't really understand the concept of work-life balance. It's not a stationary movement. It's a constant up and down of variables. So you work 60 hours this week and you're at home for 15. Does that mean you need to be at home for 60 hours and work for 15 the next week? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
You got to figure out what works for you. So the work-life balance, I don't know. I think I heard one, I don't know if it's a stat or not, but I heard that functional kids suffer from people who hate their job versus people who work late.
What do you mean by functional kids?
Like kids who grew up and are able to contribute to society and are okay with relationships as far as the average can go. So like when people come home and they hate their job and they complain, then their family suffers.
Yeah.
Right? As opposed to the person who has a long job or a long day and they enjoy what they do, the kids don't suffer as much, right? So I don't know if that's true. I just heard it in a speech.
Yeah.
And the guy seems like to be a pretty credible source, but I quoted it wrong, so I'm not going to say his name.
Yeah. It's pretty hard. Like, there's so many, like, anecdotal evidence is like, or cliches or kind of like lead you to believe a certain way, and it's like you almost don't know whether to believe it or not, but it sometimes rings so true because you can relate. You're able to relate.
Because you can relate to it, right?
Yeah, there's something in their story that you relate to.
And then you have to be careful about the cliches too, because then you start living your life as a cliche, and then living your life as a cliche is not cool.
No. Well, how should you live your life if you had a like artistic way to describe it? I was thinking. Like,
I don't. That's the thing.
I was thinking like experiments. Like it should always be like a test, but
every day is a test. Every day is something different. That's for sure. So every day is.
Life learning. Is a highway.
Life is a high. See, we can't do that cliche thing.
Oh, that was just going cliche.
So you can kind of live life every day being tested. Like you learn new ways to communicate with people every day. You learn new ways to run something old or to present something old. So with training, I was told every training session is an eval, and that's absolutely true. Same thing with life. Every interaction is an eval.
Yeah.
Because you're learning something new on how to interact, and you're either reiterating that you're doing what's right, or you're learning that you need to do something different.
Yeah.
So to say there's one cliche way to live life, I don't, except for 1 Corinthians 10:31. Whether you eat or drink, whatever you do, do all for the glory of God. That is it. Mm-hmm. And there's so many ways to skin that cat. Boom, I just felt like putting a cliche in there.
Skin the cat.
Yeah, see what I did? I cliched.
Oh. You got cliche all over my earphones. Or all over the microphone.
You should wipe that off.
Yeah. What's that smell? Cliche?
That's exactly what it is.
It smells of victory.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned you have kids. So you have 2 kids.
I have 2 kids.
What are their ages again?
3. Well, he'll be 4 in July.
Yeah.
And my daughter, who's 19 months.
So how has raising the daughter changed from raising the son? Or like, do you think it's a difference between boy and girl, or do you think it's like an age difference? What, like, experience, like from your part, has them changed?
I have a daughter.
Okay, yeah. So I threw a lot at you with that one.
Yeah, I have a daughter. We'll see what happens when she can interact with people a little bit differently. But right now, I love them both like they're little babies. Protect them and guide them.
Yeah.
I'm pretty stern, I guess, with him. Mm-hmm. but I don't think I'm not stern with her, but she hasn't had a chance to really cause any problems. They're both good kids though. They're not troublesome.
I've actually wondered about. We had some discussion with someone at the gym the other day, and they were talking about how like guys are a little bit. I think they were using an example of someone, but I'll talk in generalities about how guys tend to be more softer to their daughters than they are to their sons, and all that. And they're like, oh, that shouldn't be a thing, and all that. But I don't know. It kind of is. And I don't. If it is a thing,
I think it is a thing.
Yeah.
Because I tell my son all the time he has to protect his sister.
Yeah. Is it stereotypical or is it cliche? No. Is it environmentally?
Is it cliche?
I'm trying to think. Is it nature for us to get that idea, or is it like society? That's what I wanted to say.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
That's a tough question.
Because there's also our culture is very like founded on chivalry and
I think it's somewhat natural and somewhat societal.
Yeah.
I think my role as a husband is still to protect.
Yeah.
And then my role as a father is to protect. And I think Austin's role as a brother, since it doesn't matter what sibling he has, is to protect.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes once they get older. But that's what our family's supposed to be together.
Yeah. And by no means you're not trying to force anybody into a box, because there's clearly been strong women in history like Joan of Arc and leaders like Cleopatra and stuff like that. So like it's fully capable, but like what motivates you and what drives you is that idea, and like myself as well, is that idea of that. I don't know. You are a provider. You have to be a provider, protector, a worker,
a priest.
Yeah, you're like the head. Yes. And I think both people should, both the man and husband or man and wife. Or both leaders of the household need to kind of have that mindset that you're the leader of the household.
Yeah, and and that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Regardless, you have to have someone who's going to take the responsibility.
Yeah.
It's very hard to have that 50-50 relationship with any relationship and expect it without discussing what your roles are going to be.
Yes.
There are roles. You can't get rid of roles. There has to be a role. And if someone's in charge, or if someone's not in charge and there's two people in charge, at some point in time they're going to have differing opinions.
Yes.
They're going to butt heads. But at some point in time, there has to be the respect enough to give the person who's in charge, the person who's the respect for them to make the decision, whether you disagree or not. But that's every relationship.
Yep. That's one of those potential fights right there. When
and there will be a fight over it. Yeah. But but because of the deliberate and intentional, the deliberate and intentional, conversation you guys have about what our roles are, something I think. Okay, so this is, some people will forego marriage counseling. I actually think it's really important.
Yeah.
Because when you're young and you're in that love era, you're like, it'll be fine. We get along so well. But over the course of 15, 20, 30 years, you're going to develop new mentalities, new ideas, and they're going to butt heads. Mm-hmm. But if you guys don't determine what will happen when that happens, or who's going to make the final decision when that happens, well, then they're going to struggle. Yeah. Because you're going to get there, and the one person's going to feel like they're being overtaken, and the other person's thinking they're doing the right thing, and then boom. Yeah. So there has to be that give and take there. But the person in charge isn't supposed to be a monster in charge either. Yeah. They're supposed to take into consideration whatever that other person's saying. So if it's the leader determines, so if the leader says, hey, I got a new job offer, we make more money. But the secondary says, and by no means are they worth less, says, well, look what we have here. We have our family, we have our kids, and so the person in charge says, okay, that's right. Mm-hmm. That is absolutely correct. So we're going to stay. Yeah. That's a small example, and again, first, the leader and the secondary, man, woman, whatever decision that you guys, if the breadwinner happens to be the wife for you guys' circumstances, that's up to you guys. But however the decision needs to happen, somebody needs to be the responsible one to make the final say. Yep.
Ooh, that's also a crazy thing with raising children, is that there's the good cop, bad cop sort of relationship with the kids and the parents.
Normally not on purpose. It's probably because both parents were raised differently.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I didn't think about it that way.
Yeah.
Because I can already tell I'm going to be a good cop type person. I'm going to try to maybe tougher on the guy, of course. Like not of course, but I just understand myself, and I just with my younger athletes, that's just how I act.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Watching you train, you do a good job of keeping it in control. So I don't know if it'll be a good cop versus bad cop thing for you, but I think you're going to gain a lot of respect because you stick to the path. That'll be the thing. It's not so much as even good cop, bad cop. It's that one person says something and they stick to it.
Yeah.
That's where it gets tricky. So the discipline has to be consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. And kids definitely see that, and like adults see that too. Like if anybody differs from what seems to be true about, okay, if we notice someone like lying about who they are or doing something you don't think is aligned with who they are,
right?
And stuff like that, it's something that triggers something in us, and people generally say something at work. We just notice it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. You kind of see patterns. Everyone sees patterns.
Yes,
and so
there are patterns in there.
Yeah.
It's not all going to be perfect, but as consistent as you can possibly be.
Yeah, consistency. That's another one.
Yes. And not hating discipline. A lot of people will see discipline as a bad thing.
Well, in your words, what is discipline?
Discipline is learning. I don't know. I don't have a definition for it.
Interesting. Yeah.
But it all makes sense. It all fits. Discipline involves correction. Discipline also involves consistency. Oh, I did come up with a cliche the other day. I forgot what it was. It's like, discipline is neither convenient or a matter of opportunity. But when disciplined, you can, nope, that wasn't it. But when disciplined, you can have opportunity and convenience. With discipline comes opportunity and convenience. So if you're not disciplined enough to keep your stuff in order, when an opportunity comes to present itself, that you can't take it because you weren't ready for it.
Yep.
But if you keep everything in order, when an opportunity comes, you can handle it.
Yeah.
And if you want something to be convenient, and if you're disciplined enough, well, then you can conveniently go on a vacation because you're disciplined enough to keep everything in order.
Yeah.
Right? So discipline has its role.
More like, it's doing what you have to do, basically,
correct.
getting your stuff done.
Yeah, so I think discipline is a necessity for everything. But it's hard. It is not convenient. It is not always going to be in the most opportune time. You know, and you might hurt somebody's feelings because you were being disciplined.
Yeah.
And with your kids, their feelings might get hurt because you had to discipline them.
Yeah.
Putting them back on track, keeping them on track. But discipline's not bad.
Yeah. And
discipline is an act of love, in my opinion, also.
Yeah. And hurt feelings isn't always bad too. That's something I have to I've been trying to figure out myself is like, with both like my own feelings and other people's feelings, is like, strife builds a lot of character. Strife builds a lot of bigger, tougher relationships, actually. And it really tests a lot of things with relationships. And it also grows you as a human being, both as like, it'll make you start asking questions. It'll make you learn something. And it brings experience. It brings new waves of opportunity your way. Because like if everything's so like smooth and dandy, it only goes so well.
Yep. That's true. Well, if it's smooth and dandy, you haven't reached out enough.
Yeah.
If you're comfortable all the time.
Yeah.
Discipline's not comfortable at all. Well, it can be, but it's not always. Sometimes you have to be disciplined enough to change it when it is comfortable.
Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Yeah. I don't know. And there's a lot of life coaches out there. I think that's like a new thing. That's a big thing. And I don't know. I feel like those help, but ultimately, like, you got to find the power within you too, to a certain degree. You have to find mentors is a bigger one, I think. Someone you can learn from.
I think they're about the same.
You think so?
Yeah. I think life coach is just a way to market it and sell it.
Okay.
I don't think it's... Life coaches come, they go.
Yeah. The name comes and goes.
Yeah. life coach is just a way to say, hey, pay me for my mentorship. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. Because like you've been a mentor to me all for like the last, I think, 4 or 5 years. So ever since
that's cool.
Ever since early 2013.
Appreciate that.
For graduation. Yeah. So
that's always good to hear.
Yeah. Definitely glad to have you on with this one. Yeah. It's kind of like one of the reasons why I am doing this is because like you've built me up to do this.
Yeah. It's exciting to see you go where you're going too. Like you have so many cool ideas and they're going to do well.
Yeah.
You know, I think I'm excited to see what you have going.
Man, I just want to get your marketing brain a little bit.
Okay.
Because like you do really well with your gym. Yeah, for those who don't know, Bodyshop Athletics X.
Yeah.
Okay, did I say Ballantyne or Irmo? I can't ever decide. Which location is it at for now?
It is in the Ballantyne area.
Ballantyne area, South Carolina.
Yes, this Ballantyne doesn't have an address.
Yep, and it's BodyshopAthleticsX.com?
Yes. BodyshopX.com.
BodyshopX.com. And then Bodyshop X on the Instagram and all the social medias.
Yep, all the social medias.
Yeah. Do you do Twitter?
I have a Twitter account.
Okay.
I have not been as active on Twitter because it's like being in a loud room and expecting people to pay attention.
Yeah.
My Twitter is linked to my Facebook, which is a marketing no-no, but it's linked to my Facebook just so it's active. Mm-hmm. Because I don't pay it. South Carolina is not so much a Twitter. South Carolina consumers aren't Twitter heavy.
Okay, yeah.
Our area is not. So the thing about Twitter, and I say it's in a crowded room, is if you are in a crowded room if there's a party, you can start talking and nobody's paying you any attention until you actually call their name.
Yeah.
And that's how Twitter is. You can post all you want to, no one's really paying attention. They're just kind of scrolling through it. Oh, I see something. Oh, I see something.
Yeah.
Oh, they're talking, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. But if you tag them in it and ask them a question, then you started that direct conversation in a room with a bunch of people in it who might not notice you otherwise.
And I think with like the fitness industry, like it booms even more on Instagram. It's a very visual.
Yeah, it is.
It's very like it's not as much. There's a cerebral and spiritual element to it, but it's based in the physical a lot.
Yeah, it's more visual than most good trainers would like it to be, because we know it's not as like while the visual is good and the aesthetics are nice. You know, the majority of people just need to be active and healthy, and that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's that battle of how much of this person's six-pack should be on your Instagram, or how much of this person's success should be on your Instagram. So that's always a battle, because it is very physical. You know, we'll get that phone call. Well, what does your trainer look like? Yeah. And that's why I don't necessarily have pictures of them on there.
Yeah. Because it's not about that necessarily.
Right.
For you, for this, like our philosophy.
Right, exactly. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, and we have people who have done well to change their bodies. Competed in bodybuilding shows or wanted to look good in a bathing suit. That's always going to be a part of it. But there's also those people who need to learn how to eat healthy because they have just been diagnosed pre-diabetic or they have hypertension, and the doctor said they can get off their medicine if they learn how to eat better and started moving.
Yeah.
You know, like those are the important things too, and we have to find that balance in there. But on Instagram, it's very hard to see that balance because a lot of people just want those pictures.
Yeah. I also found I've always thought about it this way with like Jim Carrey's quote, how it's like, I wish everyone had $1 million or had achieved everything they wanted. So no, it's not really what it's about. I know a lot of people strive, at least in my experience when I was wanting it really bad, was like striving for like a very attractive body or like abs or something like that. But then when I got there, or sort of like got to the point where I was happy with it, it wasn't really the body I wanted, it was the confidence that I got from it. Gotcha. And then I learned how to get confidence through a different platform that didn't necessarily need six-pack abs. Like I still keep myself in really good shape, make sure I do well and stuff like that, and not lose what I worked hard for. But ultimately I was like, oh wait, I wanted confidence after all. And I wanted to feel a certain way, feel good around certain people or around people.
And there's some people who will do that and not even get that confidence.
Yeah.
They don't find the confidence in the journey. Like, you just happen to be there. But some people will get there and they are still not happy.
Yeah.
So it's down to a T, everything they wanted. And they still, so like 122 pounds, 18%. Beautiful, right? Like, that's the thing. That's physique-wise, that's a pretty beautiful walking physique. Like, you just can do whatever you want to. But, you know, there's those people who will say, well, I just need to lose like these next 2 or 3 pounds. Well, what are those next 2 or 3 pounds going to lose? What are you going to get out of it? I don't know. Well,
exactly, yeah.
I mean, I can help you get to a different looking physique, but you can't necessarily lose 3 pounds.
Yeah.
We might need to add a little thickness to your muscles, add more muscle density, but that might not come with weight loss though. And so that's kind of our job, is to educate people. But people don't always want to be educated. They just want to see what they can get. And they're not necessarily happy. Some are happy, don't get me wrong. But some aren't.
Yeah. I think we're always looking for the next thing. Like we want those abs, but we want the abs for something else. And then we want that something else for something else. And so like if we can cut down one part of the process, maybe we can get to that end goal a little bit faster.
Or the people that used to be. I used to do this. I used to look like this. I used to be that. Well, I mean, the natural flow of things is things change.
Yes.
And we can't stick with our used tos all the time. There's not a single thing that we can come up with that stays the same that we consider good. Like Twinkies.
Yeah.
Twinkies will stay the same on the shelf forever, but it doesn't do good for you. Like, that's the thing. If something's going to stay the same that long, it's probably not good.
Yeah. It's also about like
work.
Yeah. It's also about like being like, I guess new agey is like being present, being like in the moment, and appreciating what you kind of have. Mm-hmm. And then I'm kind of very futuristic right now just because I have a lot of things coming out I'm thinking of working on, and just kind of like being excited for what tomorrow has, as well as like what you have today, kind of like what you can do today or what you can appreciate for today.
Yeah, there has to be a mix of both.
Yeah. You
have to understand that there is a future, but you also have to be present in what you're doing today.
It's like learn from the past, like look forward to the future, but really
be in the present.
Be in the present, yeah.
That's a cool cliche right there.
Yeah.
I'll take that one.
Yeah, very. With all these like creative endeavors, you also had a few creative endeavors yourself, maybe one or two. One of them being Jay Wind.
Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was okay at it.
Yeah. Was that your first like thing you did by yourself?
I wasn't really by myself. When we finished college, there's 3 of us.
Yeah.
We called ourselves Relative Truth Entertainment. It was fun. I wasn't really the most musical out of all 3 of them. Napoleon and Megan both had voices on them.
Yeah.
And Napoleon could flow too, so that was kind of cool.
Were you like the business side?
Closer to it.
Yeah.
I mean,
you're like, oh man, this could reach this group, or
actually. And I attempted to rap.
Yeah.
So that was fun. Spit lyrics from time to time.
Nice.
Did 1 or 2 freestyle battles. Those were cool too. And then we graduated. We split ways a little bit. Played guitar for Megan. Napoleon came back in town. We would dabble, play guitar for him, and then I attempted to sing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I sound okay, sometimes I don't. I took voice lessons. That was fun. And I do pretty good at writing music. I don't think I'm bad at that.
Yeah.
And I can sing what I write pretty well, but it's very hard for me to find and stay in tune with other people's music. There's a few that I can stay within, but music or singing wasn't my strong point. Mm-hmm. So I took voice lessons for about 1.5 years, and I found a medium where I could fit in tune and have fun. Yeah, I'm not going to be a millionaire, but we made some change off of it. We made some spending change, and it was fun.
How much, to a certain degree, do like people need to have a certain level of talent, or before they go into something, or can they actually learn it all? Like, do you think if you spent all your time doing voice lessons and 100% of your time working on music and stuff like that, do you think you would still be wanting to do music today, or I guess the passion will also have to be there too?
Yeah, I had fans.
Yeah,
I had a few fans. It's a matter of how big you want to be and how much you're willing to accept it. Mm-hmm. You don't have to be a top 40 artist to make a living off of music.
Okay.
You could be a local, regional artist. It depends on the lifestyle you want to have.
Yeah.
So at our minimum, I think we made $175 a night.
Nice.
Between the hours of 8 and 12.
Yeah.
Right? So you do that a couple of times a week and maybe have another part-time job, and you can be okay. You could also make your own album. It costs money, but you have to be willing to jump out and do it. Yeah. If you're going to go 100% into it, somebody's going to like you.
It's an investment.
Yeah. Someone's going to like you. People like crappy music all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So, like, that's kind of what made me keep going a little bit and still like to do it, is that I know there's people who sound way worse than me that do much better than I do. So that's actually one of the reasons I started to put together a mixtape, was because there was a terrible, I don't even remember what it was back then. We're talking about 2000, 2001. And somebody was, I don't know, I was listening to the radio with some awful lyrics, and I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
And, you know, me and Napoleon put together a couple of things, and it was pretty funny, being college kids. But I think we were really good, and if we put the time into it, when we could have had a decent local following where we could make some money on the side and sell a couple local albums. I mean, I did sell, or I handed them out, and every now and then I can go somewhere and somebody will remind me that I used to be a rapper. And they'll start, I remember that song you had, Whip of the Summer. Pimped out, tricked out, whip of the summer, you got a Hemi in a Cadillac and an H2 Hummer. But the ladies don't look at you like less than a man when you come through riding that conversion van. Like, we were just killing things, or just making fun of things. And then we used to go to this Waffle House around the corner from my house over here. And Napoleon could sing the hook really well. And we did it. We can make Waffle House the spot because we got no money to drop. Two schoolboys with zero cash. No matter what, we're having a blast. It's summertime and we have no funds. We be balling, though we stacking ones. Yeah, that was fun. So one of my kid cousins, he's a grown man now. But when he got to college, he's probably 10 years younger than I am. But you know, he liked the song when he was in high school and middle school or whatever. And then he got to college, and so he remembered the song. He was like, dude, I know exactly what you were talking about once you got to college with stacking ones.
Yeah, and eating Waffle House.
And eating Waffle House, exactly. Yeah. So it was fun to do that. So there were people that related to us, and we weren't bad. It was just a matter of whether or not it fell in line with where we were going.
What do you think? Well, what do you think about the local scene with Columbia? Like, do you think, or South Carolina? Do you think there's a chance? Like,
yeah, you got to find it.
Yeah,
there's people out there that put rhymes out that do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they just don't. I mean, there's...
Is the inevitable path, like, you have to go to, like, West Coast or New York or Atlanta or...
No, to make a living? No.
Oh, to make a living, yeah.
No. To be a millionaire? No, you don't have to, but those help.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a misconception with those who aren't really into it, is that they have to be in those locations to do it.
Yeah.
Those are definitely prime locations, but again, they're saturated.
That's all, yeah.
If you go to Nashville, you're on every corner with somebody who's trying to make it big. And what does making it big mean?
Yeah.
And who cares if you really like what you're doing? Who cares if you're singing in the bar between Charleston, Columbia, and Greenville?
Mm-hmm.
But your kids are taken care of, your family's taken care of. It's a lifestyle choice.
Yeah.
It might be late nights and smoky locations, but it's up to you. It doesn't even have to be smoky locations.
I'd always like recommend like people starting a small, like I feel honored, I feel excited to be starting in like Columbia or something like that.
Yeah.
It being that it does have a very big music scene and very energy and some connectiveness inside itself, but it's not, like you said, saturated with such really loud names and loud people over in these big areas.
And you have to find it. South Carolina has some cool local artists.
Yeah.
And some cool people that come out of it. And I mean, Hootie and the Blowfish. Like, if you start there, and even before that, there's a few people that came out. Hootie and the Blowfish, Benji, then there's Villanova, The Movement. And there's a ton of people, Edwin McCain, that came out of South Carolina and did work. And there's, I mean, it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, and like it's even big in like other industries, like, you know, Charlemagne the God. There's there's Aziz Ansari, I love him. I'm trying to think of any other ones that came to mind. Stephen Colbert, all these big, like, I don't know, A-list sort of people. And so,
I mean, South Carolina is not dead.
Yeah, we're hitting big sports right now, and so next thing we know, we're gonna, I don't know, get drawn a little bit more attention with other things, I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know how well we do with keeping professional sports teams, though.
Oh, I don't think we'll have a professional sports team.
I think we could. I don't know when it'll happen and how it would happen.
No, I don't even know what sport it would be, to be honest.
We've tried.
What sport?
I think we attempted to throw some professional soccer teams out.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, the Battery are down in Charleston. They've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
There's some other soccer teams that have come in.
I think South Carolina.
I think we tried arena football one year.
Oh, wow.
I say 1 year, but a couple of years. I think we even had a D-League basketball team. They all never made it.
The only thing that's really making it is the Fireflies right now.
Yeah, and they're still pretty new.
Yeah.
The Greenville Braves, they've been around for a long time.
The Blowfish, is that still around? Are they still around?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're around. There are teams. There are semi-pro teams and feeder teams to big squads. But as far as like an MLB team or an MLS team or an NFL or an NBA team, I don't know how we would do with it.
Yeah.
But our college football is on point.
Yes.
So we
all our college
that's
sports.
probably part of the reason is that we like the amateur sports.
Yeah.
We like college football, college basketball, college baseball, and we rock it. And we're good at it down here in South Carolina.
That's one thing that you'll notice a lot of South Carolinians say. I'm like, oh, like, well, what kind of sports are you into? And they're like, well, I'm mostly into like the college sports, and that's just kind of what we do since that's all we have really.
Yeah.
Like, we're kind of associated with the Braves, we're kind of associated with the Panthers, but yeah, it's all college sports for us. Mm-hmm. And with Clemson winning the Natty, it's kind of adds to the fire.
Clemson, Coastal Carolina.
Yep, Carolina women.
Yep. You know, it's just 3 major sports.
Oh, and then we got big weightlifters, like one of the best youth weightlifters in the world.
We do have one of the biggest weightlifters down there in Beaufort.
Yep.
CJ. Yep.
So where do you see the sport of weightlifting going right now? It's looking pretty good, if I do say so.
I haven't been in it that long, so we'll see.
I don't know. We have a Masters National Champion right here for the 69, 62.
62.
62s. Okay, so it's gonna move up next time.
I'm not moving up.
Multi-class medalist.
Not even.
Oh, okay. Moving down. Is that what I'm hearing?
My wife would kill me if I had to cut that much weight.
Oh,
my body would kill me if I had to cut that much weight.
You would be in the worst mood
all
ever.
the time.
Yes.
Because that's a big weight loss. I don't have to really cut weight to stay at 62, but to have to cut weight. Then she'd be mad at me. All you got to do is this, and you can cut off 12 pounds. Yeah.
Just lucky, I guess, right?
Yeah. But then there's, so I think it's growing. I'm new to the sport, so it's been really cool to hear stories of what's happening in the sport.
And what has happened in, like, the history of it.
So, like, we've not really been the most competitive as far as on the world stage goes.
Yeah.
But our structure is different. So being new to it, and I was on that end of an kind of an old way of doing things, and then in the beginning of a new way of doing things, we've got some cool things that have happened with USA Weightlifting. We got the first girl to be elected to IWF.
Yeah.
That was really cool. She's the vice president. What about those apples?
Yeah.
Right. So that's cool to see. Then there's the participation is growing, and you know, I don't know if I'm a catalyst, but I'm definitely a part of the participation growth. Like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like, I'm coming in as a number to the opportunity for the sport to grow.
Yeah. And
then I listened to I was at a conference called Summer Strong at Sorinex. And Dave Spitz came from Cal Strength, and he said one of the ways for us to continue to get better on the world stage is to increase participation. Mm-hmm. And I agree with him 100%. So that's kind of the goal. South Carolina's been a little bit slow on the growth of USA weightlifting, or of weightlifting in general. There's a lot of weightlifters in the state.
Yeah.
But we don't have a local meet circuit or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun. It's growing up. It's popped up like the last year or two. There's been meets everywhere in South. Well, I say everywhere, but there's been a couple meets in South Carolina, in Beaufort, one by the beach. We've hosted one.
We'll have state championships.
We'll have the state championship coming up July 1st. So I guess my goal for weightlifting is to see South Carolina grow in participation and try to figure out how that can happen.
Yeah.
Because I think we looked up the barbell clubs. There's not one in the Charleston area. I think the closest one to the Charleston area as a club. Now, there's coaches down there, but as an affiliated weightlifting club for 2 hours outside of Charleston.
Well, what does it take to become a weightlifting club? Get your gym affiliated.
You go to usaweightlifting.org, and then you sign up as a club. It's not an extreme cost, but it allows us to grow the sport.
Yeah, so it gives your club awareness. People like that are going to a new location, that's what I've been doing. I've been typing in, going to USAW and looking around Colorado and being like, what kind of USAW sanctioned gyms are around there. I've even done that with CrossFits a little bit too, just because I know they have weightlifting equipment, a barbell and plates.
Well, that was we had a guy email last week, and he asked about it. And really, there's the one club that we had in Charleston has been gone for a while, but there's a couple coaches that will program for weightlifting, but they're inside of a CrossFit gym. There's nothing wrong with that because weightlifting itself isn't necessarily sustainable. I think there's a few gyms that are purely weightlifting only, but they've been around for a long time. They're like the pinnacle of what weightlifting coaches and weightlifting gyms should be like. But a lot of them are associated with other gyms and
sponsors.
So, and they do other things, which is still pretty cool.
Like Muscle Driver was a equipment manufacturer as well.
They were, yes.
Cal Strength hosts NFL athletes in combine, pre-combine.
Yeah, they have a lot of that stuff. That's pretty cool too. So for South Carolina, the goal is to increase participation, try and get some education out about it. And I'm not sure how that looks yet, but right now we're going to start off with this first state meet, see if we can get a few people involved in the state meet, which we have a good turnout so far, and there's still a lot of time left to register.
Yeah.
So I think we'll at least currently we have enough to have 2 sessions. The goal is to have 3 to 4 sessions, but again, there's plenty of time left.
And I was like, I don't normally sign up till last minute. I still got to sign up for the American Open Series too, and that's like next week. I think is the last week to sign up. So, it's July.
It's July 2nd.
I think it's July 2nd because it's after.
It's after the state meet.
Yeah, so I need to sign up for that eventually.
Yeah, so July 2nd would be the last date to get your qualifying numbers in.
What are your thoughts about the American Open Series?
I think it's cool. I think it's interesting they decided to do it for the American Open and not the Nationals.
Yeah.
But it allows a lot of people to get on that platform in a different venue than the local meet.
Okay.
So I think that's pretty cool. The American Open Series 1, Series 2, Series 3, and then the finals. Mm-hmm. Almost to me seems as if it should be Region 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then Nationals. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what their mindset is behind it. I just will lift when I can lift. And I think they're putting a lot of effort into making, 1, weightlifting accessible, 2, trying to do what they can to make the athletes better.
Yep.
And I think that is very admirable. I think they're doing a good job at trying to do that.
Yeah.
Again, but I'm new to the sports. I don't know what it was like beforehand. So when I hear other people talk about a little bit of the organization was a little bit off, and now for me, and I can speak to that a little bit because when we first got our club, there were some things that got lost in the mix.
Yeah.
And took a long time to get information that probably could have been better off in 2 to 3 days. It took 1 or 2 weeks. And then reaching out and getting answers back quickly from when you have questions. Mm-hmm. They've done a good job at that. So it seems like they're doing a good job. I don't have anything bad to say about leadership yet, but I have not been in it long enough, and I haven't been to the level of some people where, the leadership's just a regular old conversation away from them, just a phone call.
Yeah.
To me, there's still kind of a step-up process. Like, I don't know Phil Andrews. Some of the coaches around here have met Phil Andrews. They say he's a great guy, though.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's the one I'm definitely hoping to meet over in Colorado.
Yeah.
With weightlifting, and there's a lot of people that come to our gym because we have a lot of people that compete in national competitions, local competitions, and a lot of people probably want to get into weightlifting competitively. What should they do to become a competitive weightlifter, whether it's local or national? Or let's start with local. What should they do to be a local competitive weightlifter? Could be at their first local meet.
Find a gym who's going to teach you how to snatch and how to clean and jerk, and then teach you to the rules of the competition. If you've never lifted before, give yourself 12 weeks, 8 to 12 weeks to learn how to do it, and then give it a shot. If you don't give it a shot, you'll never learn.
Oh yeah.
I think one of the misconceptions that people will say is I want to be able to lift this much. before I get on there. But you should really just go to get the experience on the platform, because it is a different beast than lifting in the gym. It is cool. The atmosphere is cool, and depending upon the location, I mean, it can be really, really hyped or really, really laid back. But just do it. If you don't have, it's not that hard to get into. A singlet, some shoes, and lift.
Yes.
And then join USAW.
That's a very important one, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in order to compete in a sanctioned event, you have to be a member of USA Weightlifting.
And it's super easy.
It is.
Yeah.
Very easy. We'll see. One of the things I'd like to see weightlifting have is a professional ranks, but I'm not sure how that would work.
Yeah. I know we talked about, like, what's it called with soccer? Like, regulation? I keep forgetting that word. Relegation?
Oh, yeah. So promotion and relegation?
Yeah. Where, like, if you're, like, there's, like, a national circuit, and then there's, like, a, I guess, local circuit that, like, or I guess regional. I'd say regional and then national.
Yeah.
No, I don't know exactly the right way to frame it. But, like, top, like, tier 1 and tier 2.
Yes, exactly.
And then there's, of course, local meets to qualify you for tier 2 or tier 1. And then if you do well enough in tier 2, you could bump someone out of tier 1. If you do too bad consistently in tier 1, you get bumped out to tier 2.
Yeah, that's actually a really cool idea.
Yeah.
I think the key with that, well, yeah, having a Division 1, almost like, okay, so golf has 125 top competitors in the PGA, right? So they have them, and you have to work your way in there. You have to score a certain amount to get in it, and you have to compete to get into the PGA. I think that would be a definite way to look at it. And then just underneath the top tier, you have the tier 2, who can, if they finish at the top of the tier 2, they can compete for the next couple spots that open up on the pro tour. So I don't know. So I think weightlifting has the opportunity to look a lot like the pro golf tour.
Yes.
But I don't know. And then as far as the relegation goes, that would be something we would take away from soccer, promotion and relegation of individuals and teams. I don't know how teams would work.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that one out too.
But definitely individuals. And then being able to compete, you know, like if they rank the top 20 weightlifters in the nation, and then just for a random number, top 20 weightlifters in the nation, the bottom 15 of tier 1 and the bottom 5 of tier 1 and the top 5 of tier 2 compete in the meet.
Yeah.
And, you know, the top 3 or the top 4, the top 5 get put back up into the tier 1, and that could work. And then I guess the other issue would be how to keep a pro circuit going would be income, and determining the income of the pro circuit. That would be that's the hard part, I think.
Yeah, because it also needs, I think there needs to be like even more like information and promotion, I guess, given out to the audience as much as, or the fans and the supporters as much as possible. But it's how to do that, because I know there's Flow Elite bringing attention to like these top lifters and the stories behind them, and then there's
Flow Elite. You really only know Flow Elite if you're in already
community.
In the community.
Yeah,
right.
So
So
like
that's
ESPN's a household name,
right.
and so and it's a channel you scroll by. And
I don't know how they'll do it.
Yeah.
Giving awareness to weightlifting. And I mean, it's an exciting sport. I can't take that when someone gets on the platform. I think the thing for the individual who's not, all right, so one of the differences with weightlifting and basketball, I'll say just as an example, even football, is that weightlifting fans are weightlifters.
Yes.
Basketball and football fans, probably a lot of them don't play basketball or football.
But they can, yeah.
Right, but they're fans of the sport because it's an entertaining sport. I think weightlifting is entertaining, but the only people who really know it's entertaining are the weightlifters themselves, who see it at practice or see it at the gym.
Yes.
How do you get the common consumer to be aware and then sit there and watch a weightlifting meet?
Right. Because there's just so many things that are distant from the consumer.
Yeah, and it's not that it's hard to watch; it's that they don't really know. And the question, I guess, what you're saying is, how do you educate? I don't know.
So that's a big question, I think, that needs to be in a lot of our minds as we go into like developing and like hopefully creating a future for like someone like CJ Cummings or the Kane Wilkes in the country that are top lifters and represent a lot of great weightlifters.
With soccer, it took a long time before we had a sustainable pro league in soccer.
Yeah.
You know, they tried several times before the MLS came about.
Yeah.
So it just depends on, it takes time. And weightlifting is a smaller sport than soccer was in the 90s.
Yes. That's one thing that I like about weightlifting is that it's not trying to blow up too fast. Because I think that there's a chance for it to potentially...
I honestly don't think 5 years ago, 6 years ago, that they thought they would be this big right now.
Before the big CrossFit boom?
We can call it a CrossFit boom.
Yeah, I want to call it that. That's really what got me into it. And that's what got all the people that I know are into it now, or that follow it, were CrossFitters at least begin. They weren't average fitness people and were like, oh, I found weightlifting. No, they found Metcons or a CrossFit workout, and they're like, well, what's a snatch? And then they're like, oh, I gotta learn how to snatch. And they're like, oh, there's this person that snatches 400 pounds. How do I snatch 400 pounds? Yeah.
Who snatches 400 pounds?
Kane. Oh, wait. I think he has 400. If not, an international 94 plus.
Yeah, internationals. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Buff Mendez. That's who I was thinking of.
Huh?
No, I think he had a 400-pound snatch at like an AWF meet.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
He worked
on
out
his
an
fourth
average
attempt. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. After his good walk-up song.
Yeah.
But it was he changed that Average Joe's are used to. I don't know what he does now. I think
Nice.
he was Average Joe's. I just followed him on Instagram.
I mean, that's cool that he hit a 400-pound snatch. But what were we saying right before that?
Future of sport, promotion, getting the connection between the audience and the fans and the sport itself. How do we bridge that? My idea is like with this is like stories. Like maybe like if people knew like the struggle and the strife that they go through and how important like hitting this one lift could be determinant for their career as well as their life possibly for a lot of people, and a lot of like stipend as well as sponsorships as well as their own the sacrifices they made to make this journey here. Like you're rooting for that person on like a deeper connection, whether you know how much weight is on the bar or not, whether you can conceive that's about 2 refrigerators on each side and put it over your head. You can connect with, oh, that's a guy who wakes up every single day with a purpose, with a goal, and he has no idea or she has no idea whether they'll achieve it or not, but they're giving 100% of their effort to it, and they've made sacrifices with relationships, with finances, with family. Like
that works for some.
Yeah.
I don't think for the majority that's going to work.
No.
The majority of consumers are kind of not that way. They just want to take in the entertaining portion of it.
The quickness.
Yes.
Yes.
I
think there needs to be somehow like a sugar surplus of it too, where people can just see it get on their tongue and be like, that's gonna stick with me for a while.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense. So like, I think it's kind of where they were going with the AWF was to make it exciting. I don't necessarily think it needed to be any different than it is now.
Yeah.
To be more exciting. I just think like there just needs to be an increase in participation.
Yes.
Because from the increase in participation, then you'll get more fans who aren't just weightlifters.
Nice.
Right? So like now we have weightlifting kids, but since the kids are competing, the parents are now watching.
Yep.
See what I'm saying? So I'll get a text message, like during Nationals, get a text message from one of the kids' parents who doesn't lift, but they're watching it because they're involved.
Yeah.
So once the participation increases and then that network of individuals involved in weightlifting expands, I think we'll get more fans, right? So right now, my family comes, your family comes, they watch.
Yes.
But eventually, our kid lifters, their parents will come and their friends will come because they know someone lifting. So like I would venture to say that we might get 1 or 2 people that come in and watch that don't necessarily lift for the state meet, at least in South Carolina. Or we can invite some. Say, hey, come invite your friends and let them come cheer you on because it'll be super exciting. So getting those involved to have their friends come out and watch.
And I almost think it's like having your kid either in both or like in gymnastics and or a weightlifting kind of class or beginner class where you can learn the fundamentals and proper technique and proper movement and understanding what with gymnastics, how your body moves with just body weight and dynamics and all that and kinesthetics, as well as with weightlifting, how your body deals with resistance, how your body deals with a little bit of load or how it finds center of gravity and balance with something you're holding.
Right.
Like I think those are 2 things that could excel with just any day life as well as if you were trying to make your kid a football star or a basketball star, like those are transferable skills that will take you forever. It's like riding a bike, but even more practical.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah, and so I almost think every kid who goes into sports should have an idea of what weightlifting is or who these weightlifters are. Yeah. Hopefully, that'd be like a goal.
It would be, but then that also requires us to improve coaching. Not improve, but increase coaching. Yeah,
yes.
Obviously.
Increase and improve, yeah.
And improve too. But, so yeah, and get kids doing it well.
And that's kind of been the downfall, not downfall, but like the controversy with CrossFit is that like the coaches aren't necessarily that top tier yet. Like there's a lot of them and they've expanded really fast, but I think it got too big to the point where the ones at the end of the fingertips aren't getting the full gist of what CrossFit really is that they wanted from it.
Yeah. Well, top tier is a hard one to assess.
Yeah.
So are they not top tier because they teach bad technique, or are they not top tier because they don't have a weightlifter in a national competition?
Right, yeah.
So I think I'm a good coach, and I think my coaches are Matt and you guys are good coaches, but I don't think we're like top tier at the moment, you know. Like, but I think
we're not best team, I guess, in the country.
Huh?
We're not necessarily the best.
We're not
team
necessarily
in the
the best
country,
team in the country either.
But we get that recognition.
Yeah.
Even though we're probably really good. I'd say one of the best used like techniques.
Yeah, technique wise, I think we do a really good job of teaching it.
Yeah.
And we can go and we haven't done it purposely yet, like gone out and done conferences. We've had folks that come in and in the midst of an hour have completely improved their efficiency.
Yeah.
And, you know, ended up lifting 15, 20 pounds more, you know, 5 or 10 kilos more than they were planning on, than they thought they could lift.
Yeah.
Just because we adjusted a few things. And,
yeah.
You know, so it's just going to be a matter of the coaches themselves taking it upon themselves to go learn more.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we do that. And we go to competitions where there's going to be top tier coaches, so we can sit next to them and get a platform next to Danny Camargo, or invite Chris Wilkes down, or sit next to Ray Jones while they coach, you know, like, and we pay attention to what they're doing, and then do our best to take classes that we can take when we can, when they're open and when we can get there. Right. So it's going to take those and then having those opportunities. But I think that's the other thing cool about weightlifting is that the top tier in the nation are still very accessible. Right?
Yeah.
They're not far away yet. The top tier basketball coaches are far away.
Oh, yeah.
Top tier football coaches are far away. Like, you can't go to a tournament and just run up to, I don't know, Pat Riley and be like, hey.
Yeah.
Or call up a Phil Jackson and say, you know, when you were coaching, tell me a little bit about this. But I can go up to go to a local meet and walk up to somebody and say, hey, got a quick question about this technique you talked about, and they'll answer the question.
Yes.
Now they might be annoyed by you, but they'll answer the question.
Yes. That's one thing I'm finding out with this experience is, like, there's a lot of people that are actually easily accessible. If you're respectful, of course, and you understand, like, they have their own lives to deal with, and all that. But if you approach them like a human being and very interested and respected way, they're actually very understanding and want to meet with you and help you.
Yep.
Because they can also see a little bit of benefit for themselves by growing this community, growing this chance for relationships.
So as far as the sport growing, I think it's just going to take a little bit longer, and increasingly participation and the opportunities across the state board.
Yeah.
Or across the board from state to state.
Yeah. Like, it needs to become even more of a household name.
Yeah.
Than just in our household.
And it's getting there. Like, I had a lifter who didn't realize that CJ Cummings was from South Carolina. You know, but he's been breaking records living in South Carolina for years. Yeah. So that's not her fault. It's just the sport's not big enough. It doesn't have enough clout yet.
Yes.
The participation's not big enough to get mainstream people looking at it. Yeah. You know, it's hard to break that. You know, it's very hard to break it.
It's hard to break through because there's a lot of other sports that are loud.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
Yes, it's super loud sports. But there's a lot of other sports that do well that aren't as loud.
Yeah.
Swimming, gymnastics, equestrian, like, all of those are still pretty popular sports.
Okay. Yeah, it's huge, yeah.
Yeah, and we compete well in those.
Interesting. I don't even think about.
But the participation is bigger.
Well, what is it? What is related to? Is there a culture or something that brings people to it, or is there?
There's always culture that takes people to a certain sport.
Yeah.
Always. So, South Carolina. South Carolina football, baseball.
Yeah.
And some soccer. Like our soccer is growing really, really, really well. But let's just take, if you grew up and you were a super athlete in Texas, you're probably going to play some football.
Yep.
If you're a super athlete in South Carolina, you're probably going to play some football and basketball. But if you're a super athlete and you have the right body length in another country, you might be a weightlifter. If you're a super athlete in Spain or France, you're playing soccer.
Okay.
See what I'm saying? Yes, it matters. Culture matters. Region matters. Area matters.
That's so true. Because I'm sure a lot of people, at least growing up, it was big for people to come over to the local high school and just make an event of going to watch on Friday nights. Go watch the high school varsity teams play football.
Yep.
Like whether they have a kid in that school or not. Like you're a part of the community. You come out.
If you're a super athlete in the middle of New York, you go play basketball.
Yep.
Down here, there's a few pockets of spaces where people will play basketball, but there's a basketball court. There's 2 or 3 free basketball courts in the area we live in. You drive by them on any given Saturday, and might be 4 people.
Yeah.
And they're not out there because they're ballers. They're out there because their mom's doing something running around the track, and they're bored.
Yeah. Like I don't know if how much weightlifting is reaching like the middle part of the United States, because I hear it's very big in the southeast over here with us, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida. Mm-hmm. I think Tennessee has with CrossFit. There's a lot of Tennessees over there. Maybe a little bit in Texas, and then there's over the West Coast like Nevada. There's of course all the California's teams and stuff like that. It's just kind of missing the middle part of the United States.
Is it, or we just don't know that?
True. Well, at least it's not making big enough noise, as far as I know.
It's not making a lot of noise, right?
Yeah, but it's probably they're big athletes. I'm sure, like you can look in the national rankings and all the people at these competitions and see like Midwestern teams.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's got to be some. I'm sure there's some weightlifting there. Mm-hmm. But I think as the participation starts to increase, we'll start to see more out of it. We'll start to see better athletes coming. We do great in all those other sports, so.
And it's the pebble in the pond kind of metaphor. Like what you've got into it now, like you're into it, and now your kids are experiencing the ripples by watching you compete or watching you coach.
Yep.
And Austin snatches his barbell, all 100 kilos of it, right? Yeah. And at age of 5,
he's 3.
3. Oh, even younger. Move over, CJ. Move over, Marcus. And so, with that kind of ripple effect, now he's going to be able to do that and know how to do it. Or maybe not, he's not competing, but he understands the sport, understands heard of it, and he'll communicate that to his friends possibly, like, oh, I can't do it. Or
I think that visual is super important too.
Yeah.
Them being around it and seeing it and knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
Is super important. Right? It's hard to take someone who's never seen it and throw it at them and be like, hey, just do this. You can't do that. But someone who's watched it their entire lives will be able to pick up the movement patterns just by the mere fact that they've actually been able to see it and mimic it at some point in time.
Yeah.
So him seeing it and being able to understand it at 3 years old is going to be pretty intense if he decides to be a weightlifter. That's just will I put him in it? Probably for a little bit. If he decides to go with it, that'd be cool. But if he doesn't decide to go with it, he'll still know how.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be a dad talking, but he's a pretty athletic kid, both him and Autumn.
Yeah.
They're smart too. Mm-hmm. So I think they'll be good at whatever they do.
That's kind of what I'm interested with seeing CrossFit in the next, 5 years or so, because they have all these CrossFit kid competitions. Like, I think as young as 14 years old, they have age groups.
Yep.
And, we've seen some super athletes join CrossFit from, other sports or, and develop over the years focusing on CrossFit and stuff like that. But I don't think we've ever seen a kid start CrossFit.
From CrossFit and end as a CrossFit champion. Yeah, you're right.
And so, closest thing would be Ben Smith, because he was the youngest one to start competing, I think, and still be competing, and won many national. Well, 2, I think 3. I don't know. 2.
I don't know what he's got, but that makes sense, actually. Because our weightlifters aren't all starting at 8, 9 years old.
Yeah.
But we have 5 at 8 years old, 9 years old, and 10 years old.
Yeah.
Hopefully that'll work out. But I don't see... And that's another thing about weightlifting. We can take someone who's super strong out of another sport and make them successful at weightlifting.
Yes.
We can do that. But the question is, how do we let them know that they can do that? Because if they're a football player and they decide they don't want to play football anymore, how do we let them know that there's something else?
Yeah, because there's a competitive sport out there that they can feed that kind of slowly progressive physical and mental development.
So let's say someone doesn't do well at the combine.
How do you pick them up?
Right, but the other thing is, they're going to the combine. This is also where I think one of the issues is, and I'm not sure if it's resolvable or if it's just something we're going to have to live with. But you go to the NFL Combine, if you get picked up by a team, you're going to get a paycheck. Mm-hmm. If you come out of the Combine and you don't get picked up by a team and you go weightlifting, do you get a paycheck?
Not right away.
Right. You have to figure it out. You have to develop some marketing. You have to...
Yeah. It's still an entrepreneur sport.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
It's a very good way to put it.
Because even the brands that are supporting, except for Nike and like Reebok, that are supporting some athletes, but even like USAW is still kind of like a small business. Well, it's a big business, but it's not. I don't know. It's not at the big enough level. It's not like an NFL level.
Right, but
yeah.
See, that's the other thing is, so USAW is like the Olympic selection committee for weightlifting.
Yes.
But you just named NFL, NBA. We've named all these other organizations and associations that are not associated with the international or the Olympic teams.
That's so true.
So do we have someone that develops a weightlifting professional league or league for weightlifting?
Like the AWF was trying to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that not necessarily a USAW? Is it a competitive thing? Mm-hmm. Or do we need that? Do we need a professional ranks that allows weightlifters to succeed and allow people to see them be successful financially also? Because in America, that's one of those things that we have, the plus and minuses of being free.
Yes.
Is that we get the freedom to do what we want, but at the same time, in order to do what we want, we have to make a living.
Yes.
So how does that happen? And how do we get weightlifters who want to weightlift and sacrifice that time without providing them with some form of financial compensation?
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like NBA players, even the practice squads, they get they can live. And it's a professional thing, so the consumer's paying for it. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, professional sports are run by the consumer.
Always. Yeah,
without the consumer, without the fan, there is no professional sport. Yeah. So I guess we go back to that circle again. Yeah. How do we get the fans to enjoy it?
Yeah. Get them a part of it somehow. Like, would you feel somehow get them emotionally involved? Whether it's because you can by doing it physically, like by doing the sport, you get a connection to like the difficult and the physical ability and mental ability it takes to do this sport.
I guess, but
if you have your kids doing it, it's like with that.
Kind of. I don't know. Actually, I don't have an answer to that question.
Yep.
Because you say that, but then I think, when you watch NBA or NFL, you're not like, oh, this team was a Cinderella team that came out of nowhere. But some of them you are.
Yeah.
But like Cleveland and Golden State are at the top, and they're going to be at the top for a long time. You're just going to watch them because they're fun to watch.
Yeah.
And they're winning. And you get to see Steph Curry, LeBron James. That's it.
Yeah. Well, there's also the aspect of like when they also have the addition of like comedy shows with like a laugh track. Like when you watch it, you like if you're watching a weightlifting meet, you just see the lifter. You don't see any of the fans and stuff like that. So you see a lifter hit a very difficult lift, and the fans behind the camera are like, yeah, and like you might hear some cheering and stuff like that. But with basketball and stuff, you hear people oohing and awing, or you watch Big Bang Theory, which is notorious for this. You hear like every 5 seconds, you hear a laugh track at one of these small jokes.
Yep.
And like your innate reaction is to laugh or to cheer when you see these things or get excited because you hear the music of the audience, the music of the fans kind of guide you. I wonder if, well, that's just one idea. There's so many aspects of it, but maybe that might be an aspect. Somehow, is there a way for people
I think
to have
Dave
the fans?
Spitz hit it really well. Because it can't be that complicated. It's just to improve and increase participation.
Ultimately.
Because that, from the participation, is where you're going to get education.
Yeah.
And if they don't, what difference does it make if we don't have participation?
Yeah. Are you going to get your kids participated in the sport, you think?
Probably for a little bit, if they decide to.
Yeah.
They're at least going to try it all.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing. And it's very hard to start a 3-year-old with a barbell.
Yeah.
But, he's running around kicking a soccer ball with no problem.
Right, yeah. That's all one of those things. Yeah, basketball, football, soccer, those things that you can do when you're super, super small.
And in the backyard.
Yeah.
There's some obstacles, but I think weightlifting is going to continue to grow. I don't see it halting.
Yeah.
I don't see it coming to an abrupt stop either.
Yeah. It's hopefully invading our strength and conditioning areas for all our athletes to a certain degree.
I think it is. And I think we'll start to get people who may not want to sit the bench. The only reason they're sit the bench is not because they're not athletic enough, but because they don't understand the sport that they're playing.
Yeah.
They might not have the basketball IQ or the football IQ, but you give them a barbell and they're one of the most athletic people. So
yeah,
that could happen. Or they just might be somebody who the coach just didn't like.
Yeah.
There's a ton of that. I'm pretty sure there's a ton of good athletes who understand the sport and have the sport IQ the coach doesn't like, and they just need something else. But we got to make it ready for them.
Did you ever have a coach not like you? Or were you like one of the coach's favorites? You feel like? I have to see a small smile almost coming out.
I mean, I had one rough season. It was cross country, but
that's cross country.
We're not going to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh man.
I didn't. Part of that was on me too, because I wasn't very. I wasn't the most coachable cross country athlete at that time for that 1 year.
Yeah.
That was. But, I could have done better. That was on me for sure.
Yeah. Well, what could you do differently, if you don't mind me asking?
It started off bad, so we're not going to go into it.
Gotcha. What was soccer?
Soccer was good. I worked my butt off for that sport.
Yeah.
So I don't think...
Was that the first sport you played?
Probably.
Yeah.
But
how'd you get involved with that? Your parents took you, or
parents put me in when I was little. Yeah. Cross country started off bad. I'll finish with this. Started off bad, but I don't think the start off bad was my fault. I think I encouraged it to be bad the rest of the year.
So you finished the season too?
Yeah, I finished the season. I did, but it was he didn't coach much longer either. So
yeah.
But I was, as far as being nice and being coachable, I wasn't outright rude, I don't think. But I know for a fact that I was not the way I should have been for that coach.
Do you think that taught you anything? That experience?
Yeah, don't be stupid.
There you go.
I just wasn't nice. I could have done better. I could have been better. And I just let the first of the year put a bad taste in my mouth and didn't
First impressions.
Yeah.
First interactions.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
You were also like a teenager at this point, if not already. Were you a teenager at this point?
No, I was the 5th year.
Oh, okay. So yeah. And that wasn't your dream sport.
No, but I was good at it.
Yeah.
And I could have been better at it.
Yeah.
It was not. I was. Yeah. By the time I finished, I was not where I could have been. I was faster than the average person, but I was not a fast college cross country runner.
Yeah. What was your 5th year? Was that when you first started personal training people? Your friends?
No, that was my sophomore year.
Okay.
That was after I came back.
Good SWAT.
Subs.
Is the clip not? Oh, that's just the pop filter. It actually doesn't do much. It's kind of just there for show. Yeah, it's on a chair. No biggie. you'll still get full connection.
Oh, okay. So
for those who don't know, he swatted the biggest, I think, dragonfly that was coming to attack his face, and the microphone was victim of that attack.
It was just, casualty of war. It just happened to be in the way, But it's okay now. It's all good. I got it covered. My life is saved. The microphone is okay.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, after I gained 15 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
But I lost it when preseason hit. But I came back and I was 15 to 20 pounds heavier depending upon the day. And then one of the kids asked if I would go with him to the gym. We started lifting together. Then every now and then 1 or 2 other kids would ask. We got to the point where I would do my workout with Jeremy for a while. We worked out together. And then other folks say, hey, can you go to the gym? Well, I couldn't do my workout with all of them, so I ended up having to go with them and be there when they worked out and tell them what to do. Okay. So it all happened on accident.
It was a basis of circumstance.
Yeah, I enjoyed it though. So it was. We were also studying as part of the curriculum. I was an athletic training major, and certain things were following the curriculum that I was doing in the gym with these people. So it was kind of fun. And then the nutrition portion hit. And I wasn't really good at nutrition information then, but people would ask, and I just kind of copied what was in the book and hand it to them or tell them about it.
Yeah, so where were you getting your information at this time? Was the internet big at this time with bodybuilding.com? That's what I've learned off of, so I don't even know that was even around at that time.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
You just called me old.
I was about to date. Dates on this.
No. Internet was around, but not nearly as accessible. Like, information wasn't nearly as accessible as it was now.
Okay.
And even then, so we're talking 2001 to 2005.
Yeah.
Even then, you're talking about information that we hadn't been able to or yet learn to decipher was good quality information or yet. So we're using textbooks.
Okay. So Barbell Shrug podcast was not around.
That was not a thing.
Okay.
It wasn't even a thing.
Black and white Netflix wasn't around.
There was no Netflix.
Yeah.
Blockbuster was still a thing. We would still rent DVDs and videos.
Wait, you mean Blockbuster to go? Like the kiosk thing, like the Redbox Blockbuster? Yeah, I've seen those. Yeah, we know those.
No, the actual brick and mortar.
Wasn't it
Blockbuster?
That was such an exciting experience when you're like, I guess we're gonna go see a movie today, and then you drive up to Blockbuster and you see a whole wonderland of stacked.
Videos. Yeah.
The most popular one had stacks and rows on it, and then if you wanted one that wasn't so popular at the time, you had to hope that it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Or you had to know somebody in the back, be like, hey, can you check this one out for me? See if it's
to see if someone brought it back yet.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they brought it back.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely. That was a good times.
Yeah.
Those would be experiences my kids will never know.
Yeah. Well, we also were in the transition of VHS to DVDs at that time with Blockbuster.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I still have plenty of VHS. I have all the Godfathers on VHS.
Nice.
I have Scarface on VHS. Actually, I think for Christmas somebody got me all the Godfathers on DVD, so that was cool. I got the whole set.
I totally can relate. Last time I used my VHS player, I was recording High School Musical.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know that man's a grown man now.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
He starred in Baywatch with The Rock.
Okay. I don't know what to think about this. They're trying to hit, every movie's now trying to hit, a nostalgic, nerve in everybody. And it's working. I'm not going to lie, because I wanted to see it. I'm still probably going to see Power Rangers whenever I get a chance. But
Absolutely.
I'm waiting for it to come out, because I just can't make it to the theaters.
But I think Baywatch is going to be a comedy.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully they're going to point out all the ridiculousness. It's a comedy mystery movie.
Yes, something like that.
Yeah. Have you seen Central Intelligence?
No, I heard that was funny. That was Rock and Kevin Hart?
Yeah, I feel it was a mystery movie as well, sort of thing. It was a mystery it's solved. I thought it was going to be the same thing.
The Rock is randomly, I guess it's not random, but who'd have thought when he was The Rock in doggone WWE, giving people the people's elbow and the people's eyebrow, that this dude was going to be an amazing actor and come out with all sorts of fun movies.
Well, wasn't his first movie with a little girl and he was a ex-football player? Who was
the little Disney flick?
Yeah, I don't know what it was called, but that was I was listening to someone talk about him, and I think that was the first movie he did.
That can't be his first movie.
Yeah. Hey, Rock, if you're listening to this, just tweet at me or Instagram at me and let me know which movie it was. Yeah.
We can go look that up.
Yeah. IMDb, that's
absolutely. But I don't know if that was his first movie, but still, that's crazy.
Yeah. And then Fast and Furious came out a few years with that.
And the High School Musical. So apparently, Ashley Tisdale and was the guy Grable?
You mean
Graybeal?
Oh, actually, the one that baked. I don't know the guy's real name. Gabriel, but Gabe. That's what they called him in the movie. Gabe.
But anyway, so
is he actually? Does he do stuff?
Yeah, he does music.
What was his name? Do you know?
I don't remember his real name.
Do you have a song by him?
Nope.
Okay, well, look up Gabe from High School Musical's name and check out his stuff.
He and Ashley Tisdale it's on her YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And they sang together. They're old too, by the way. I think he's 32 years old.
Man.
Yeah, they're not old.
Yeah.
Sorry, 32 and 33. I'm 34, but it's not that old.
Yeah.
But considering where they were in High School Musical, they're not the same high school kids.
No.
And they were in their 20s playing the high school kids.
Yeah.
But point is, they did a duet recently, and it's actually really, really good. Both of them have really good voices, and they're really talented. So I don't know how far they are as far as their acting career goes, but musically, very good.
Oh, yeah.
And I say that because some people want super extravagant Whitney Houston voices. No, both of these individuals are talented. He plays like low-key coffee house music.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he could do a pop scene if he wanted to, but he plays the guitar, he writes a chill melody, and the voice fits.
Yeah, ultimately you have to find what fits you.
Yeah. So I was kind of impressed. I'll probably go look him up on YouTube again just so I can figure it out. Create a YouTube playlist.
Okay. Playlists. Those are huge now. Like Spotify playlists, that's all I listen to.
Yeah.
You use Spotify?
I have a Spotify only because it takes less data on my phone.
Okay.
And I can listen to it and do other things. But normally, if I'm in the car, I'm listening to a podcast of some sort.
Yeah. Do you have any podcasts you like?
Well, let's do
Like top 3.
Living on the Edge, Chip Ingram, then Barbell Shrugged, both the business one and the normal Barbell Shrugged, so Barbell Business. So that counts as one.
Yeah.
And then...
Same umbrella.
Yes. Whew. All right, so the Eric the Hip Hop Preacher, E.T.
He has his own now?
Yeah, man. He has one. He's had one for a while.
Okay.
And then, so there'll be a tie at number 3 between that one. And then I also listen to sermon.com. There's a guy named Vody Bacham. So between those two for number 3.
Okay.
And that varies. That's just this week. Like in 2 weeks, it'll be something totally different.
Oh yeah, because I don't know.
I think I was really into Gary V not too long ago. And I'll probably get back on that once I start planning for the upcoming 6 months for the business and see what goes into that. But it just varies on what I'm doing in life and business, and to figure out what podcast I'm listening to, because there's another podcast I need to pay attention to that someone hit me up about the other day. It was a soccer podcast, but I don't remember what it was. I have to go back and listen to it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And next thing I know, I'll be listening to Jeremiah the Gentleman podcast on a regular basis.
Throw it your way. Yep. Come out June 5th. If you're already listening to this, you already know.
June 5th.
What kind of music are you listening to these days? If you are listening to music. Okay, what artists are you interested in hearing these days?
The kid from High School Musical.
Oh, there we go.
No.
You actually did find. Okay, I was wondering if you found his stuff.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. I just don't remember what his name was.
Man,
because I didn't really get into High School Musical. So I am a Disney fan, but never got into High School Musical.
Okay.
So that wasn't my thing. There's a lot of other Disney things that I was really a fan of. But, so that kid, and then Andy Mineo. I've been on that for a while.
Yeah.
The dude's got bars. Lecrae, Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole, I can listen to, but I think they do really, really well. And Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
Right now, I think they're top 3 hip hop artists.
I'm definitely excited to hear Chance the Rapper at Bonnaroo.
Oh, you're going to do that? That's
yes.
right. That's gonna be fun.
But they set up a Chance the Rapper, and I don't know if you heard of Tory Lanez.
No, not yet.
Okay, he's really good. He's more R&B, but he also raps a little bit.
Cool.
And they're at the same. I guess they decided to put them at the same time just to mess with people's hearts. And so I'm gonna have to split up their shows.
Half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard. You're gonna get to one. You're not gonna leave, by the way.
Oh yeah.
You're gonna say I need to go, and you're not gonna go.
No.
You and is Kaylee going?
Yeah.
You're gonna have to tell Kaylee to go to one, and you go to the other, and you guys videotape.
Yeah,
it.
like we're a FaceTime.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said videotape. Sorry, and record it on your phone.
Yeah.
People don't videotape anymore.
There's no tape. There's no tape anymore. It's all digital record.
Yep. So hold your phone up. She holds her phone up, and when y'all get back, all right, what'd you see? Switch phones off.
Yeah. See everything through a screen.
Yep.
Well, everything's gonna be VR soon.
I don't know about
VR
soon,
headsets.
but it will be. VR is making its way into the gaming industry really, really well.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to make its way into the corporate meeting industry at some point in time, but I don't know how fast it'll be before it really takes over life.
Yeah. I've heard Reggie Watts. He's like a comedian, musician, all that. He does virtual reality shows.
Yeah. See, that's the thing I think will be cool. But right now, I think a lot of people are going to be ahead of their time.
Yeah.
But they'll be the trendsetters for it.
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty cool, but not everybody has a VR headset yet.
Mm-hmm. Well, you try to stay hip on like digital trends and all that. Where do you think it's going to head with VR? Like, what is VR going to do with social media? How is that going to impact social media?
All right. So I read this article, not necessarily social media, but like, I guess it'll be VR.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to do everything with your glasses.
Yeah.
So instead of buying a television, you'll be able to sit on your couch and hit a button on your glasses and watch the TV up against the wall.
So you don't have to like bend your head anymore. No more iPhone neck.
Correct.
Or my friend has a texting thumb for a while and he had to wear a brace. Like it's getting serious.
It is, but no, you're not gonna have to do that. I don't know how well that market's gonna take. That's actually a little scary to me, to be able to just put everything in a set of glasses or in a headset and project it off, because you still are outside of what's going on.
Yeah.
Or you're in your own. Like, I think being that much inside of yourself is dangerous for society.
Yeah. As much as technology is connecting us, it's making us very isolated too.
It can. Yes, absolutely.
Whether like you could be big on Facebook or something like that, but you see people's, I don't know, growing up, you see people's always post like some things they're excited about or some things they did, and they're like, "Oh, I'm having such a great time," while you're in your room
posting,
reading them posting how excited it is. So you feel connected and alone at the same time.
Absolutely.
And so it's trying to find that dichotomy and that relationship with our devices that I think ultimately we need to strive for.
Yeah. And now there's people who get along in their devices. That's fine.
Yeah.
But I think as a whole, if that's how we ended up,
Yeah.
it could be a little more dangerous than good. But that's everything. Everything starts out really, really good and could possibly cause harm. But it's not taking over.
Yeah.
I think there'll always be those who are 100% against and those who are 100% for and those who fall in the middle.
Yeah.
So, but I think VR will be cool. I read another article about VR and bodysuits, so where the bodysuits can mimic the sensations of the environment.
Yeah, like you feel pressures and you feel the temperatures.
Exactly. I think that would be really, really cool.
Head out. See you, Josh.
Yeah, still recording?
Yeah, it's just casual.
Oh, it's just casual.
You get a little feature in it.
You want in?
Yeah.
No.
So people call me?
Yeah,
No.
you can if you want. If you can call me and I'll answer any of your questions. Yeah. No,
just
just kidding. Yeah, we can get like a 2 cups and a string, and you can. Yeah, that way we get it like interactive.
Yeah, that would that's a nice scientific experiment.
Yeah, actually, it's actually about that time, so we can go ahead and start wrapping it up. But I do want to see anything that you're working on that you want to draw attention to, that people need to know about, besides our awesome gym, Bodyshop Athletics X, over in Valentine, South Carolina, our awesome barbell club, Bodyshop X Barbell. You can find us both of those on Instagram. Let's see. Anything exciting about the future that you're working on? Did you want to talk about?
Just right now, trying to see what happens with weightlifting in South Carolina.
Okay.
So stay up on South Carolina weightlifting. We don't have a website or anything like that or Facebook page, but the goal is to increase and improve the participation of weightlifting in South Carolina. So we have a state meet coming up July 1st. If you're in South Carolina, it's actually open to those who aren't part of or aren't in South Carolina. So if you want to come and lift, come and do that too.
Fantastic. remember, you have to be USAW certified, so get that taken care of.
Yes,
get a
yeah.
singlet. It
Get a
looks
singlet.
fantastic on everybody.
Everybody.
And come on, rock it out.
You get all sorts of singlets too. Cat singlets.
Oh, yeah.
Snake singlets. Power Ranger singlets. I don't know if they have that yet, but I'm going to look now.
I mean, yeah, you got my attention going.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jason. I appreciate you being on here.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Excellent.
All right, y'all. Thank you again so much for listening to this episode. Had a wonderful time talking with Jason Windley. Had a wonderful time setting up these last 4 interviews and these last 4 guests for y'all. And I'm very excited to announce that we have a guest for y'all this upcoming Monday with Fat Rat the Czar. He is a top hip-hop producer in the Columbia area. He also has a book out, and we're going to talk all about it. Make sure you hit that episode up. After this week, we're going to a Monday, Wednesday format, and you'll already, if you haven't listened to this episode, you'll probably just start noticing that. We're going to go to a Monday, Wednesday format. Maybe I'll throw in some special episodes throughout the week if I see fit. But again, thank y'all so much for listening. Feel free to like, share, all this stuff everywhere. Follow me at Jeremiah the Insta on Instagram and Jeremiah the social media on Facebook. Again, thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Peace.